welcome back to the Breakfast Show. Yes, there's still a hot discussion on missing children, and of course, Sasha and I, being parents ourselves, it is a matter that's close to our heart, yeah?
Yeah, and for a lot of us, especially over the past couple of years, it seems that every few weeks, there's something in the newspaper, any of the social media platforms that any of us are familiar with, Facebook or Twitter, and most recently was the one with William Yao, who was later found dead, unfortunately.
Of course, the case is still under investigation. We were supposed to have the Royal Malaysian Police here with us, but unfortunately we can't discuss because they're not here at this point in time. But hopefully we'll be able to bring them later to shed some light on the situation. Meanwhile, let's talk about some interesting, more interesting statistics here. The thing is, despite the media storm and this on social media, on the headlines of children going missing, sexual abuse, this and that, Malaysia's not safe. But the thing is, it counts for almost just 2 to 3% of all missing cases. Most of them happen at home, where the children are actually the ones running away, seeking for freedom, it seems. And also, there's peer pressure. As we take a look at where these cases happen, at home
is,
it's 43 out of 68 cases.
And then followed by schools. And if you notice, restaurants, none at all.
Yes. And,
I don't know if everyone's too busy eating or what.
And public places, there's 14 cases. Of course, we've already discussed the dangers of child trafficking and this and that. So, on those cases, of course, we can't discuss it with the police as well because they're not here. But let's concentrate on these cases that happen at home. And numbers tell us a different story. So where is the problem here? Let's ask our panel, yeah? Do we need more policemen on the streets? Or do we invest more in family and community to shape this safer society that we want?
Or are we more vigilant with our children?
Yes, Cipam Ali, please.
All right. Actually, from our point of view, our ministry would focus more on the family and issues. So anything, it should come from the family itself. Therefore, in these particular issues or things, what we must stress is that the value of that particular family and also the neighbor around them, which should be stressed more, and which we should remember anything we do, if anything happens, we must try, or we must we actually really need to Kepochi. We need to know what happened.
The thing is, in urban areas, I don't know whether our both gentlemen agree, when we start going, how are your children? And a lot of people in urban centers, they prefer their space and they go, why are you asking
me so many questions?
Why are you being...
So busybody.
In our culture, we say, jagat tepi kain orang, looking at other people's skirts.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you think?
That could be the attitude. But if a case is like the ones I'm discussing now are happening, and the children are missing, and it is you whose child has been found missing, then you realize that maybe somebody are showing interest in what is happening around the city is probably useful. So I think that attitude needs to change. We want our space, but there are also times when we want somebody else to be part of us. Not every day, but in some instances where that needs happen. I want also to just mention that from the point you raised earlier on in terms of who should take responsibility, is it the family, is it the police, is it the welfare people? I think it should be everybody. Because safety of children is not a prerogative of only the family. Because, like you have seen, something is going wrong in the family and many children are missing from the family. So who should be there to help? Maybe it will be the police in terms of tracing and trying to find out the missing children. Maybe it's the welfare to find out what actually is going on. How can they support the families? So it becomes really the responsibility of everybody to make sure that everybody plays his or her part to ensure that overall children are safe.
Exactly. Just a galvanization between the ministry, the law enforcement, and of course, we as parents, the community, the family, cannot just shed our responsibility. Police never do their job. Suddenly my son is missing. Or what the welfare people doing, cannot find my son or daughter. I mean, it's a joint effort by everybody. But when we talk about missing persons report, how long should we according to the police procedure. Of course, we can't ask them because they're not here, but it's supposed to be 24 hours before we put in a missing persons report. In your opinion,
Is that too long?
24 hours it can happen, as I mentioned earlier. You know, it can be already another 100 kilometers away. You know, I would say it's good to overreact because if anything happen, you know, it can cost life. You know, of this particular children, and children are like William recently. For example, I give an example. You know, age of 5, 7, 8. You know, they probably don't know where they're heading to. They also immaturity that they cannot find help properly. So it can end with a very dramatic consequences.
Yeah.
And another thing, we're talking about the statistic. A little bit I would like to touch on. Home is number 1. School is number 2. Restaurant and public. If you see this rank, the public perception, the parent perception, home is the safest, then school, then
Exactly.
so this is the risky parenting, as I mentioned earlier. You know, we take risk, we take home as the safest place.
Or we
but
can leave
this
them,
is
it's fine.
when the hot water can spoil on the 5 months old, you know, and children missing. And when we're talking about age of primary school and secondary school, home can be a pushing factor. So it's a hell at home or it's a perceived hell at home. I mean, these two facts is very important.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
then
much.
you have to
So, with the points raised above, it goes to show that, I mean, what you see in social media, what you see displayed in the papers, sometimes can sort of shape the perception that something's wrong with our country. But actually, we take a look at the numbers, actually we should be focusing on ourselves, the family, community, and the society at large. What are we doing wrong? Why are we not doing the right things to protect our children? So that's a point to ponder as we draw this discussion to a close. Gentlemen, thank you so very much. We wish it could have been more, I say, power-packed, especially with a certain entity missing. But hopefully we can solve that issue later on. This is not over yet, as far as we're concerned,
Exactly,
right?
and I think this also goes back to, you know, what our parents always told us from when we were kids. I think the same old, better to be safe than sorry. Know where your children are, know their friends, know where they're going, know where they are at all times, monitor them. Same old thing that we've always known.
Absolutely. And before we get into too much trouble, my name is Nazruddin Rahman.
And I'm Sasha Bashir. We'll see you again soon.
Good morning, Malaysia. Bye-bye.